Oh, right there. You see the
Oh no. What'd you hear? I didn't hear anything. Let's start walking back this way. That freaks me out.
Katya is a full-time van life traveler who spends her days exploring, singing, and sharing her journeys with her audience. In this video, she pulled into a quiet, scenic campground and decided it would be her place to stay for the night. Everything felt peaceful as she settled in, unwound, and began filming a few clips while practicing her vocals. But the calm didn't last long.
Drinking watermelon moonshine, got the burn with a little lime. I was his and every bit of that boy was mine. Too young to know what love was. 'Cause there's never nothing like the first time. It's always gonna taste like watermelon moonshine. What the fuck? There are hunters out here. That's kind of freaky. I'm gonna close my van doors.
Out of nowhere, gunshots rang through the area, instantly shattering the quiet. Realizing something was off, she reacted on instinct and quickly shut the van door. Viewers later noticed that right after the second shot, there were faint sounds of something hitting the ground near her van. Possibly leaves or gravel being kicked up, though no one could say for certain. The timing, however, made the moment feel significantly more alarming. The shot sounded extremely close, and with nighttime hunting prohibited in most places, aside from limited predator control, the situation didn't resemble typical hunting activity. Many viewers felt the shots were meant as a warning. Even if someone had been hunting legally, doing so near an established campground is not only unsafe, it's truly frightening. Lost in Wonder is run by a creator who enjoys spending time outdoors, documenting her camping trips in unusual and memorable locations. Her content is consistently engaging, and this video was no different, though it was far less calm than her typical outings. For this trip, she attempted a stealth camp at an old ruin rumored to be haunted, giving the entire experience a noticeably darker edge.
I'm actually doing this. I just got dropped off and I'm hiking at the Bruce Trail, which is a long trail here in Ontario that goes from Niagara Falls all the way to the Bruce Peninsula on Georgian Bay. And this is just a very, very small section of it. And it goes through a ruin that is believed to be haunted. And I was reading about the story of William Black.
She was dropped off near the Bruce Trail in Ontario, a long scenic route stretching from Niagara Falls to the Bruce Peninsula. After a brief hike, she arrived at the ruin, an abandoned structure tied to unsettling local stories. At first glance, the site felt ideal. She pitched her tent, explored the area, and settled into her usual camping routine. But as daylight faded, an uneasy feeling slowly took hold. While organizing her camp, she spotted unusual lights drifting through the forest. At one point, they appeared to be moving directly toward her before shifting and following the main trail instead. She couldn't determine whether it was hikers or staff patrolling the area, but the unexpected movement made the woods feel far less comfortable.
When I was setting up, I saw lights in the woods, and one time it looked like it was coming right at me. I don't know if it's hikers or if it is the park authorities doing rounds. Either way, they didn't come here to the ruins, they just walked through the path. But you know how it is at night, the light just really goes far. It is definitely getting cold. There is a chill.
As the temperature dropped, she tried to push the tension aside and continue her evening. She cooked dinner, listened to the sounds around her, and eventually climbed into her tent. Despite attempting to relax, the location's reputation lingered in her thoughts, especially with Halloween approaching, when curious visitors often wander out hoping to catch something paranormal. Later that night, she heard footsteps nearby, much closer than anything earlier. She tried to ignore them and rest, but the sounds kept returning.
But I don't know, I have a feeling that more people may come by. It's pretty close to Halloween, and this is a pretty famous haunted ruin, so a lot of people will come here at night to see if they get to see the ghost of William Black. What the was that? I just heard footsteps, but this time they sounded much closer, not farther in the path. Okay, I'm gonna try to go back to sleep.
Other noises echoed farther out in the forest, adding to the impression that someone or something was moving through the ruins. Nothing approached her tent, and she stayed inside the entire time, unwilling to risk stepping out to investigate. Eventually, she drifted off and woke safely in the morning. Still, the footsteps left her wondering, were they from a late-night hiker or an animal wandering near camp? Whatever the explanation, spending the night alone at a remote, supposedly haunted ruin carried a sense of danger she couldn't overlook, especially without any form of protection. Fortunately, the experience ended without incident. Uploaded on July 15, 2025, this paranormal discovery video brings viewers deep into the Canadian wilderness, where an abandoned gold mining settlement still stands, decaying, silent, and swallowed by forest. The team had explored the region before, yet something about these forgotten towns kept pulling them back. Not just one ghost town, but two, each reclaimed by trees and heavy stillness. Official explanations blame economic decline for their collapse, but the atmosphere suggests there may be more to it, as if something lingering in the area resents visitors. This particular town had once been the second most productive gold mine in the province. The region had once been full of workers, noise, and activity, leaving behind an energy the investigators believed still clung to the ruins. It also sat within the same wilderness as another deserted community they had documented earlier. Two vanished towns in the same forest made the crew wonder whether a deeper connection existed between them.
We are back at a location where there is said to be a cryptid beast, but no one knows what it is. Back in the day, this used to be a gold mining town. This produced the second most gold in the province. This is the second ghost town that I was mentioning when Angela and I went to the Icelandic settlement and camped out in the cabin. So we're in the same wildland, but like, just in a different ghost town. There's two ghost towns in this forest. Isn't that messed up?
It is.
Let's do it. Sketch, because the one thing that comes to mind when I do enter this spot is massive cryptid vibes, but also very spiritual. I came here by myself once, drove an hour and a half down this path into a place where I probably will never go again.
I still don't understand how you did this location alone. Like the last time I was here, I remember actually getting like really, really freaked out.
This spot, like I said, it has a vibe, and it definitely does not want people here. Whatever is here, just like it's almost like forcing you out without actually physically harming you.
When they reached their campsite, the air already felt tense. Their phones lost service, and an uneasy stillness settled long before sunset. After dark, that tension shifted sharply. What began as a calm night quickly escalated when sudden metallic noises rang through the woods, followed by the heavy thud of something moving close to their tents.
What is going on out there?
What the?
What the f? This camera's still on. What time is it?
No clue.
Holy shit, it's
Oh,
like,
it's like-
the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Chills. Something's moving out there. There's no fucking way. Was that the table? I literally just heard the rattle of the table.
I don't know. I heard a bunch of things, but I can half asleep. Okay, we've got to go out and check.
When they stepped outside, they were met with chaos. Tables knocked over, stones from the fire ring scattered, and disturbed dirt showing that something large had passed directly through their camp. None of it appeared accidental. The group described an intense feeling of being watched from all sides, as if the forest itself had become aware of them.
What's going on? But I swear, like the table that's out there, there's something. I'm like legit scared. Okay,
What?
our table's down. I knew it. The fire pit's caved in.
What?
Barbecue's still there. Our salad thing is down. The Blue Eddy's still there. I knew it. Our table.
Something knock over our table, or like did a gust of wind blow it down, or?
I don't know. There's no way. No, a gust of wind would not blow that down.
Yeah, because like our chair is still up, that tiny little chair in the cooler.
Something came and did that.
It's literally right next to us, like while we were sleeping.
Like this is actually messed up. Our stuff is literally knocked over there.
You hear that too?
What?
Do you hear that? It sounds like.
The ghost town they were camped beside had once generated remarkable wealth. But stories older than the mining era told of strange entities and restless spirits tied to this land. As the night wore on, shadows shifted beyond the reach of their lanterns. Insects swarmed, yet the woods felt strangely empty of normal wildlife. Even the air had a charged, expectant quality that made them question whether it was safe to remain.
God, like we're in danger. Like if we stay, we're physically gonna be hurt or killed.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm just trying to like I'm just starting.
I mean, I guess I was the first one to bring it up with the whole last dinner thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, my nerves are shot, hon.
Okay, should
Like,
we?
there's something out here that if we stay, I don't know if it's gonna break our car or like try and get in or hurt us. Like, I don't know, we're in a tent that like anything
Anything can get in.
By morning, the crew agreed it was time to go. They packed in haste, still rattled by the night's events. Later, they described the trip as their most unsettling yet. Not because of what they witnessed, but because of what they sensed. In that forest, nothing needed to scream or attack to be frightening. The silence alone was enough to follow them home. Jeff is a creator who typically uploads guitar covers. Simple, straightforward music with nothing eerie about it. But in one video he posted on February 13th, 2021, everything took an unexpected turn. While at his home beside a forest in New Hampshire, he suddenly heard strange sounds coming from the woods. At first, he assumed it was an injured dog or something similar. Curious and slightly uneasy, he stepped outside with his camera to check it out. He filmed the area, hoping the noise would repeat, but as soon as he began recording, the woods went silent.
Okay. Heard a sound out here. So I'm recording in hopes that I hear it again. It was downright terrifying. But of course it stopped as soon as I started. All I can hear right now is dog barking, I think. Pretty sure that's a porcupine. That's not what I heard. Heard something quite different. But that was a porcupine.
Only distant sounds, Barking and the calls of familiar wildlife filled the background. For a moment, it resembled the high-pitched noises foxes or owls often make, and he figured that must have been the explanation. He started heading back inside, thinking the mystery was solved. Then the sound returned, much lower, far stranger, and coming directly from the forest.
There it is again. That's what I heard when I first came out. That is terrifying. That was either like the biggest, sickest coyote, or I have no idea. Wow. I've heard coyotes many times out here, all hours, from lone coyotes doing that long, like wolf type call to like a pack of coyotes yelping with a kill, owls, fisher cats, foxes. I know that they sound crazy. That is totally different. That was deep. Oh my God.
It was nothing like what he had heard earlier. The tone was unsettling, and Jeff immediately realized it didn't match the usual calls of foxes, owls, fisher cats, or the coyotes that frequently roam the area. Whatever made that sound felt completely different from any animal he knew. After the noise faded, Jeff uploaded the footage, explaining that he had never heard anything like it before. Even after researching local wildlife calls, he couldn't find anything that matched. In the comments, he asked hunters and outdoors enthusiasts, people familiar with the woods, for help identifying the sound. Many viewers said they had experienced similar eerie cries near their own homes, but had never determined what caused them. Some suggested it might have been a moose, possibly injured, and parts of the call did resemble that. But there was also a strained, unnatural quality to it that didn't align with a typical moose call. Others leaned toward far more disturbing possibilities. As for Jeff, he wasn't convinced. He acknowledged certain similarities to a moose, but something about the tone felt off, an unusual, discordant edge that made the sound seem like something entirely different. He ended the video by asking viewers what they thought it was, hoping someone with more experience could identify the mysterious call. On November 10th, 2025, Dawson and Michael from the YouTube channel Dawson Toller made their way back to the Primitive Baptist Church in Cades Cove, one of the places most strongly connected to the Appalachian legends they explore. Their channel frequently follows them through historic sites with unsettling reputations, and this return marked their first full investigation there since their experience at Bell Witch Cave.
This church was founded in the year 1827, but without a proper location, many gatherings took place in nearby cabins, and it wasn't until 1832 that a long-term church was built, eventually outgrowing the size and erecting this current version in the year 1887. One common paranormal occurrence here at the church is that of a recurring apparition of a woman showing her face and even walking through walls at the Primitive Baptist Church, when in December of 1921, Josiah Gregory, aka Joe Banty, has been charged with arson shortly before his attempted murder charge. He burned down not only his brother-in-law, John Oliver's barn, but also his father-in-law, William Oliver's barn, on the same night. Both of them were pastors, aka elders, at this very church. After the first barn was burned, friends and family had arrived to help. With how much of a madman Josiah was, things likely could have ended way worse that night for the elders at the Primitive Baptist Church.
So inside of this church, there was never any deaths. Horror movie creepy, but it's absolutely creepy at night. You're all by yourself, there's no service.
Just an old abandoned church in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains.
Basically the church, it's just a one-room church. There's pews, that's basically it.
They opened by revisiting the church's long history, noting its roots in the 1800s and its ties to local stories, including the old account involving Josiah Banty.
The cemetery outside the church is the oldest cemetery in Cades Cove. 399 total graves have been documented, but many of them are unmarked. This isn't from a nefarious reason. This is due to the stones sinking into the ground and the fact that some of the gravestones were nothing more than large rocks that tourists have taken over the years.
Hello? We're back. My name is Dawson. I'm saying hello to anybody inside of this church or the cemetery behind it. Could you please show us some sort of sign, whether it's a knock, trigger one of the devices we have, use your voice, anything like that.
Just outside, the graveyard held hundreds of marked and unmarked graves, adding weight to the setting as they stepped inside to begin the night. Nothing hinted at how the evening would evolve. When darkness took over, they returned to the pews and arranged their equipment near the front. Shortly after they introduced themselves, a single knock echoed across the room.
That was like pretty loud.
That was cool. And are you hearing like a whistling outside or no? Remember earlier you said you were hearing a whistling inside of the church?
Yeah.
I heard it twice outside.
So I did hear a whistle and people were here. So it very well could have been regular people outside, but I did hear it as if it came from inside the church, and at the time nobody was in it. If those knocks were you, and it isn't just coincidental, could you please knock again?
Yeah.
Weird.
Reviewing all of the footage, I can't really tell what it is, but it's from us moving and a strange reflection that was caught.
I thought I heard it again.
Sounded like it could have came from the back row of the pew.
What the fuck?
Right there. Oh, right there.
More followed from different corners of the church, and Michael mentioned hearing whistling both outside and earlier from within the building. Their focus sharpened as each sound seemed to answer the previous one. With activity still happening, they moved on to the Estes method.
If I were to ask you to do an Estes method. So?
Let's do it.
It's completely up to you, buddy.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Hello, Estes
Dance
method.
on it.
Handsome? Are you trying to say that he is handsome? Because I was talking about him at that moment. This is, I know he's right here, but it's so freaky right now.
You're back.
We're back. Yes, we are back. Do you remember us? Is there anything you would like to tell the world? Tell people?
Knees down.
Knees down. But we're doing something called the Estes method, and he is the only one that
100%.
he's the only one that can hear you. So if you could.
You're wanted here.
Wanted here.
You are.
I am? Oops.
It was you.
It was here. I think I'm gonna end the Estes method, so.
Not really.
I'm gonna be ending this. Is there one last thing you would like to say?
I don't like you.
Wearing headphones, Michael repeated what came through the device. Handsome, we're back. You're back. Followed later by, I don't like you. The sequence made them stop and consider the timing, though the responses eventually tapered off. It seemed like the right moment to shift the investigation outside.
Guys, we are officially heading into the cemetery. Is there anybody in this cemetery that's walking with us?
Log. Remove.
Dude, was that your hair I just heard?
Did you hear my hair?
Play with your hair again real quick. Oh no.
What'd you hear? I didn't hear anything.
Let's start walking back this way. That freaks me out. I thought maybe it was just your hair scraping against your hoodie. But if not, it was definitely something in the leaves. Just making noise. But now I'm really paranoid that it was an animal. Or a ghost. I mean, either one.
Out in the graveyard, the atmosphere felt heavier. As they walked among the headstones, Michael reacted to a sound beside him, and both of them noticed the sharp crack of something breaking in the nearby woods. Unsure whether it was just an animal, they chose not to take chances and ended the night from their car, relieved to step away without escalating things further. Some viewers believe the church's history influenced the responses, suggesting old memories still linger in the space. If others have reported strange moments here as well, what remains woven into the silence of this old church? On November 30th, 2025, Jason and Nikki from Gone with the Winds shared an experience unlike the travel and boat life stories their audience normally expects. After several days of filming across 2 continents, they landed in Amsterdam, assuming it would be just another work stop, but instead found themselves recounting a loss that unfolded quietly in a parking garage.
Today we should be sharing with you our experience of driving in the Baja 1000, but unfortunately about half of that experience was stolen from us.
Along with our camera, lens, microphones, SD cards, and this is sort of like a cautionary tale. How we were robbed, what was stolen, and most importantly, what we've learned. We land in Amsterdam Tuesday morning. We go straight to Metz, which is the big boat show here.
And we are at the show all day, doing our thing again, researching,
Meeting with people,
that's
learning
right,
about this new technology.
and filming it to share with you. End of the day rolls around, we head out to dinner. Only thing we had with us was just our big camera and our microphones.
So we could just sort of not have to worry about backpacks.
So trying to be a little bit smarter, also because we're in a city, so carrying less is good, because carrying around backpacks is sort of obvious.
You know, we arrive, we're going to dinner, we decide to park in what we think is a secure parking area. It says cameras, fully secured.
So we park in that garage, and we had nothing else with us other than the one camera. So we put that camera in the trunk that was locked, hidden away, where nobody could see it. And the only other thing that was in that trunk was a few groceries that we had picked up right before we went to dinner.
And we're parked in a good spot where the camera can see our car. So I thought, oh, this is about as safe as it can get.
We have a really great time hanging out with our new friends. Some of those new friends include Judy and Steve, and their accommodation was en route back to the boat. So we said, hey, how about we give you a ride back to your place? They said, that sounds great. Thanks so much.
And as I'm walking up, we walk by this woman who's just hysterical. She's crying and just kind of distraught. And we thought, oh, maybe she had like a big argument with somebody. We didn't notice anything that looked weird. The parking lot's pretty empty. And as I'm walking towards our car, I hit the unlock button and the lights don't flash. As we get close, we see they smashed the back tiny little triangle window on the driver's side. And they pulled down the back seat
and grabbed only the camera, which all felt very strange.
They explained that everything started out exactly as usual. The car was empty. Nothing seemed out of place, and their only camera was stored in the trunk before they left to continue their day. But when they returned later, their tone shifted as they described what they saw. The small triangular window behind the driver's seat had been shattered. That moment, they said, was when the day abruptly changed, and it was only the first shock.
At first, it doesn't look like anything else has moved an inch. It was like they knew the camera was in there. It sucks. That's, 10 grand worth of equipment stacked all up. But the experiences on that camera, we can't replace, we cannot replicate. Okay, I have to handle this situation. That's from the other car that was here that said their car was broken into as well.
We immediately go down to the intercom and the area where there's supposed to be security personnel. Nobody's in there. We push the intercom button. We get some representative from
whoever
the
is the
garage.
guy that's sitting in some room somewhere that's supposed to be watching these cameras, who's supposed to be your security or the person you call if you're having trouble, I suppose, with the gate or any other issues in the garage. And he is unsympathetic and unhelpful at best.
As they retold the events, the couple highlighted how oddly targeted the theft felt. The back seat had been pushed down, and only one item had been taken, the camera carrying 2 weeks' worth of footage from the Baja 1000 and the Metz exhibition. The financial loss mattered far less than the irreplaceable videos and memories stored on it. The fact that the thief ignored every other item made the situation feel intentional in a way they couldn't shake, and their attempts to find answers brought little relief. They described trying to contact the parking staff through the intercom, only to be told they needed to call the police themselves. Even that proved difficult when the emergency number didn't connect.
Police can ask for video images.
Okay, we will come with the police. Where do we come to see the images?
Explain to the police, and then the police will come by us.
Can't see the footage, just call the police.
We were trying to call the police. We were struggling with getting somebody to answer the phone. Like, there is the emergency number. So then we had to look up what was the local police number, and Steve ended up calling from his phone.
Is their garage that this is happening in? You would have thought they would have had some responsibility to it, but in fact, they're completely the opposite. It happens so often that we're not going to come.
Oh, is that what she said?
That's what she said. It happens so often we can't come. I said, well, we need to really look at the cameras. And she said, don't have the authority to look at the camera. And I said, well, the police, how can you not have the authority to look at the camera? He said, well, as soon as you've made a report, then we have the authority to do it.
So at this point, we're not feeling very confident or supported or even heard.
When they finally reached an officer, the response was routine. Incidents like this happened often, and no one would be sent out. What stayed with them most was the officer's explanation that thieves could locate electronics by detecting RF signals, even when devices were switched off. That detail reframed the entire break-in for them.
The next morning, we go to the nearest police station and start to file a report.
Which takes hours. How'd it go?
The most interesting part is she said, you can't leave any electronics in your car anytime, anywhere in Amsterdam. That happens so often. And apparently the criminals have some sort of RF detector that can read any sort of frequency or signal that might be in your car. So we had the microphone transmitter attached to the camera, which is attached to the multi-interface shoes. It has like a little bit of power to it.
Even when it's powered off.
Even when it's powered off, which is why even though it was in the trunk and everything was shut, they could digitally see a signature that there was some sort of electronic in there. They probably just had the emergency hammers. They just walked up, they touched the window, unlocked it, looked back there, they saw the camera, grabbed it, and they were probably gone within a few seconds. If they're smashing our car right here, the camera is shooting them. Hopefully there's footage. The police may or may not review the footage because this is so common here in Amsterdam.
The following day, they spent hours filing a report at the police station. The guidance was direct. Never leave electronics inside a vehicle in Amsterdam, even hidden from view. Insurance would help with part of the cost, but the vanished footage was gone permanently. Sharing the experience with their viewers, they admitted that moving forward meant relying on backup equipment and on the hard lessons learned. Their audience echoed the same thought repeatedly. A theft this specific doesn't usually happen at random. The parking garage's repeated incidents suggested a pattern that felt less like chance and more like something quietly coordinated. If someone could pinpoint a hidden device with no visible sign it was there, what else could be detected without anyone realizing? And how many travelers have walked away from that same garage, never knowing they were being targeted the moment they arrived? The Grizzly Gaz channel follows its namesake host, often joined by his dog Fendi, as he tackles solo overnight camps and explores remote or rumored to be haunted locations across the UK. His videos mix rugged outdoor travel with light paranormal inquiry, using his van as a mobile base while capturing the psychological edge that comes with being alone in isolated places. On November 3, 2025, Gaz parked beside a secluded reservoir bordering a forest rumored locally to be linked with witchcraft. After cooking dinner and setting up electric blankets powered by a portable generator, he and Fendi headed into the woods to look into the stories associated with the area. The forest carried a silence that felt unsettling. Aside from the wind and the sound of Fendi moving, there was almost nothing. As they followed the trail,
very, very quiet, apart from the wind and the odd aeroplane going overhead. When we get back to the van, I'll let you all know how Fendi's doing. Don't be going through them puddles, you idiot. Go on this way. I always feel like something's just gonna pop its head up over the wall. Annoyed out already. And there it is, the witch's den. You ready, mate? You can hear the wind just whistling through those trees. I'm sure I just saw a light or maybe some eyeshine. I hope there's no cows in there. There's always cows in there. Always bloody counts. I shat my pants then, look at that. I thought there was someone stood there on edge of woods just staring at me. It's the end of a dry stone wall. Right, come on.
Gaz repeatedly caught himself misreading shadows and shapes, especially portions of a stone wall, for figures standing still and watching. His goal was to track down the spot known as the Witch's Den, and the farther he walked, the more uneasy the landscape felt. Eventually, he reached a clearing and spotted a collapsing structure buried in debris, which he recognized as the rumored den.
Don't like that. Oh, here it is, I think. Found it. Yeah, check it out. You see the 5-pointed star with bells on it. There were loads of other bells last time I were here. Well, last time I camped here anyway. Just rattling about in wind. I don't think we can get in there, mate. I can't squeeze in there anyway. I'm too fat to get in there now. Getting creeped out. Keep hearing stuff.
Hanging above the doorway was a 5-pointed star decorated with bells, shaking in the strong wind. Combined with the groaning trees, the area took on a heavy, oppressive tone. While examining the site, Gaz started paying attention to noises that didn't seem tied to the wind. When he switched off his flashlight and listened, he heard a deep, weighty sound, something moving through the woods that seemed much larger than Fendi.
Pretty sure I saw eye shine. Right up there. Other side of that wall. It looked pretty big as well. Hold on. Where's my other torch? Alright, so it might have been whatever it was peeking round the side of that wall. It's like a T-junction there. With this wall, and there's a gap between this long one here and then the one that goes along there. I ain't got any tools with me. Got no knife, got no axe, got no saw, but I've got a Fendi. Oi, Fendi, this way. Are you having a piddle? Don't worry, I'll watch your back for you. Everyone always tells me to look up, but the only reason why I'm looking up is for branches. Right, oh shit. Come on, let's get out of here. I'm sure I've just heard someone sneeze.
Concerned about what might be nearby, he decided it was best to head back. As he prepared to leave, he became convinced he had seen eyeshine reflecting from a gap between two stone walls. The reflection looked large, reinforcing his belief that something sizable was observing them. With no means of defense, he called Fendi and made his way quickly toward the forest's edge. Right before he stepped out of the trees, one last sound broke through the woods, a sharp, abrupt noise that resembled a sneeze. It didn't match any animal sound he recognized, and it locked in the unease he already felt. The moment he left the tree line, the tension faded instantly, and he noted how much safer he felt once out in the open. Back at the van, Gaz and Fendi were still absorbing what had happened when a real-world issue took over. Several suspicious charges on his bank card totaling nearly $500. The possible fraud forced him to cut the outing short and drive out in search of cell service to freeze the account, ending the trip abruptly and with frustration. Some viewers think the eye shine and heavy movement point toward a large animal, while others focus on the local lore and the strange layout of the den as possible signs of something supernatural. The sneeze-like sound remains the hardest detail to explain naturally. If Gaz had stayed deeper in the forest a little longer, would the unseen presence have shown itself, or drawn closer? The uncertainty leaves the encounter open to interpretation.
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.